Hello everybody and welcome to M&M English with me, Muhammad, and today's video is going to be about the grammar of idioms. Mainly we're going to talk about the different types of idioms. There's going to be 7 different types of idioms, but I called it the grammar of idioms because we're going to talk a lot about that. And with that, let's get started with the first type of idiom. The first type we're going to talk about is verb-based idioms. Verb-based idioms, as the name suggests, begin with a verb. And if it begins with a verb, you have to pay attention to the verb form of that idiomatic expression that you will use. Let's get started with the first idiom. Take advantage of something. To take advantage of something is to make good use of something. Just a point to those who recently joined us. I'm going to use this little apostrophe mark to show where the stress is in a certain idiomatic expression. So in this case, vantage receives more stress. Take advantage of something. Let's see it in an example. We made sure that we took full advantage of the hotel facilities. Now, as you can see with this verb-based idiom, we changed the verb form from take advantage to took advantage according to the sentence. Pay attention to the idiomatic expression you're learning. If it's verb-based, use it correctly. And now let's take a look at another idiom. Change your mind. To change your mind is to change your decision or to change your opinion about somebody or something. For example, he was intending to go to the party, but now he's changed his mind and decided to stay in. And one more time, pay attention to the verb form used here. It's present perfect. He has changed his mind. He's changed his mind. Next idiom is get nowhere. Get nowhere means make no progress or have no success. For example, Peter is slow at work, and I think he gets nowhere in the end. Be supposed to do something. When you're supposed to do something, you should do something because somebody told you to do it, or it's your responsibility to do. Another idiomatic way to say it is meant to do something. Be meant to do something. For example, he was supposed to be here at 8, but he didn't show up. We can also say he was meant to be here at 8, but he didn't show up. And now let's go to the second type of idiom. It's called prepositional phrases. Now these are called prepositional because they are, much like verb-based idioms, begin with prepositions. For example, in that case is used to mean what you will do as a result of a particular situation, or what will happen as a result of a particular situation. For example, I can't change the price, and in that case, I can't change my mind. Here's another prepositional idiom, in charge of something or somebody. When you're in charge of somebody or something, you have the control or command of somebody or something. For example, who's in charge around here? And now let's explore the third type. The third type is idiomatic noun phrases. Sometimes noun phrases have an idiomatic meaning because you can't look at individual words to get what exactly is meant. For example, a piece of cake. A piece of cake is an informal expression that means a thing that is very easy to do, the opposite of which is a tall order. For example, using this new dictionary is a piece of cake, or using this dictionary is a tall order. Another idiomatic noun phrase is a stone's throw. If something is a stone's throw from you, it's within a short distance from you. It's not far from you. For example, we're just a stone's throw from the shops. So this means we are only a short distance away from the shops. And now it's time to go and talk about the next type of idiom, and it's about sayings and or proverbs. Sayings and proverbs can be quite idiomatic. Let's take a look at the first example. Famous last words. Famous last words is informal and humorous. Notice that when a speaker uses such idioms that are labeled humorous, they intend to be funny and not serious. Now, we said that famous last words is an informal, humorous, idiomatic saying, and it is used when somebody is speaking with too much confidence about something that they think will happen, but you think completely the opposite. For example, the journey will take an hour on the high-speed train. Oh, famous last words. That train is always late. Better late than never. Better late than never is a saying, and it means it's better to arrive late than not at all. For example, you were supposed to be here an hour ago. Still better late than never, I think. And now, time to go and explore the fifth type of idioms, and it's about fixed idiomatic phrases with two keywords that are usually joined by and or. For example, bright and early. Bright and early means early in the morning. Notice the pronunciation of and in this idiom. Bright and early. And early. The and is pronounced in a really, really weak form, and it's an. Bright and early. Bright and early, we said, means early in the morning. For example, you're up bright and early this morning. The next idiom is another two keyword idiom joined by or. More or less. More or less means almost, approximately. For example, she's finished, more or less. She almost finished. It cost 200 euros, more or less. It costs approximately 200 euros. And now let's talk about the next type of idiom. It's about idiomatic phrasal verbs. I'm going to explore phrasal verbs in a different video, but remember that as a rule of thumb, as a general rule, the stress in phrasal verbs usually falls on the particle. The first phrasal verb we have here is get through or get through to somebody. If you get through to somebody, you make contact with somebody by phone. For example, I tried ringing you, but I couldn't get through, which means I couldn't make contact with you. And by the way, ring somebody means to telephone somebody. The next idiom is laugh something off. If you laugh something off, you make people think that you don't care about something, or that it's not serious or not important. For example, it was an embarrassing situation, but she managed to laugh it off. And now let's talk about the last type of idiom. It's either an exclamation or a short spoken phrase. An exclamation is something that you say or shout out loud suddenly because of a burst of emotion, like surprise, fear, pleasure, etc. Anyways, the first one we have here is don't ask me. Don't ask me is used when you don't know the answer to something and that you're annoyed that you've been asked. Another way to say it is search me. For example, don't ask me. Nobody tells me anything around here. The next one is a short spoken phrase. Remember that when we say a spoken phrase, it's usually conversational. Here's an example. Thank heavens. Thank heavens is used to say that you're pleased and relieved about something happening or not happening. For example, oh, thank heavens, the teacher didn't read the results of the exam aloud. And now we're going to the next slide. I'm going to use all of the idioms in this lesson in a short story. I'm going to read it twice. The first is going to be at a normal speed, but the second one is going to be slightly slower, and I'm going to put some other comments along reading aloud. The story is better late than never. We left the camp bright and early to take advantage of the good weather, but by the afternoon we were getting tired. So I asked Simon which was the quickest way back. Don't ask me, he said. It's all right, said Nicky. I know the way back from here. It's a piece of cake. Famous last words. We followed her in one direction for half an hour before she changed her mind and set off in another direction. But by 5 o'clock, Simon and I were fed up with walking round in circles. Even Nicky agreed we were getting nowhere and announced that we were lost. Well, in that case, we should give Tim a ring, I said. Tim was in charge of our group, and I knew he'd be furious that we'd got lost. But we were deep in a valley and there was no signal on my phone, so we couldn't get through. Just then, Simon realized where we were. Thank heavens for that, I thought. We followed him up a steep path, and at the top we could see we were only a stone's throw from the main road, which, more or less, took us back to camp. We finally got there just before 7. As we passed him, I tried to laugh it off. Well, better late than never, eh? You were supposed to be back by 5, he said. And with that, he marched off. Now, I'm going to read the story aloud one more time, slightly slower, with some comments that can help you. Better late than never. We left the camp bright and early to take advantage of the good weather, but by the afternoon we were getting tired, so I asked Simon which was the quickest way back. Don't ask me, he said. It's all right, said Nicky. I know the way back from here. It's a piece of cake. Famous last words. We followed her in one direction for half an hour, but she changed her mind and set off and went in another direction, set off in another direction. But by 5 o'clock, Simon and I were fed up, were frustrated, were angry with walking round in circles. If you walk round in circles, you are just walking and getting nowhere. Even Nicky agreed we were getting nowhere and announced that we were lost. Well, in that case, we should give Tim a ring. We should phone him, I said. Tim was in charge of our group, and I knew he would be furious that we had got lost. He would be really angry that we had got lost. But we were deep in a valley, and there was no signal on my phone, so we couldn't get through. We couldn't get through to him. Just then, only then, Simon realized where we were. Thank heavens for that, I thought. We followed him up a steep path, and at the top we could see we were only a stone's throw from the main road, which more or less took us back to camp. We finally got there before 7. As we passed him, I tried to laugh it off. Well, better late than never. You were supposed to be back by 5, he said. And with that, he marched off. He went away from us. And now, let's review all the idioms at once. Take advantage of something. Change your mind. Get nowhere. In that case, in charge of somebody or something. Be meant to do something. A piece of cake. A tall order. A stone's throw. Bright and early. More or less. Get through to somebody. Laugh it off. Don't ask me. Search me. Thank heavens. And let's wrap it up. We talked about the grammar of idioms in this video, and the first type was verb-based. The second was prepositional phrases, which are idiomatic in meaning, noun phrases, which are idiomatic in meaning, sayings or proverbs, which are idiomatic, exclamations or short spoken phrases, which are idiomatic, fixed phrases with 2 key words, usually joined by and or, and last but not least, idiomatic phrasal verbs. That's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, subscribe, share, and comment. Hope you enjoyed it. Break a leg, keep it up. It was Mohammed with you from M&M English. Bye. See you in my next video.